With a win-loss record in Grand Final games of 4 wins to 0 losses means Osaka has a 100% win rate in Grand Final appearances, which is an incredible but also an interesting statistic to say the least. However, is a statistic like this enough to define if she was actually any good? To answer this question, we will delve into Osaka's career by evaluating her performance across 5 key criteria: aptitude, toughness, headspace, longevity, and triumphs, scoring each on a scale from 0 to 10. Once we work through these, we can average out the scores to give Osaka a total athlete score and place her on the Athletica scoreboard. Alright, first service, aptitude. The absolute basic way to check how good a tennis player is at tennis is to check their win rate. So overall, Osaka's win rate is around 65%. Let's compare this to some of the current top tennis players. You can see that she's actually pretty close to them. Now, Osaka is iconically known for having an incredible run from 2019 to 2021, which is when she was at her peak. During this period only, her win rate was about 76%. While she is not at that win rate anymore, at that point in time, she was starting to enter the tennis legends territory, who are generally sitting on around 75 to 85% win rates. Winning a game might be one of the most important factors that ultimately defines your capability to play, but there are numerous other elements we can look at as well to dig deeper into how technically capable Osaka was. We can actually look at a few things here. For example, her aces per match is up there among some of the highest we've seen in women's tennis. She's one of the most capable players when it comes to saving her service games when looking at her break points saved, and when it's not her service game, she has one of the highest return game win percentages. Anyways, let's get a score for aptitude. Just a reminder that there are heaps of other incredible stats and data crunch to get these scores, but we are just sticking to the highlights. Naomi Osaka is very clearly an extremely capable tennis player. It's interesting because her individual tennis skills are actually quite elite, but despite this, her win rate overall is not. I mean, it's a high win rate, but not reflective of her technical skills. Overall, her statistics here put her in line with generally what you would expect from a tennis player that fluctuates around within the top 30. Sure, when she was at her peak, she started to just achieve the more elite statistics, but she hasn't been able to maintain it yet. So overall, for aptitude, it's a 7 out of 10. Okay, on to toughness. Physical resilience is crucial in tennis, requiring a remarkable amount of endurance and strength throughout games, especially given that the length of games can really vary. Osaka actually has one of the fastest average game lengths. This is interesting, because given her win rates we talked about earlier, it kind of shows that she is either winning games really quickly or losing them really quickly. When we looked at this further, we found that games that were at or below the 98-minute mark, she tends to win in straight sets. And games that went significantly over the 98-minute mark often correlates with losses, generally reducing a win rate by approximately 10% in longer matches. This implies that endurance actually may not be her strong suit. She relies very much on a quick, decisive victory. Strength and power are two other elements that are critical in tennis. A player's serve speed acts as a good indicator for these elements. Osaka's average first serve speed is approximately 174 km an hour. This is quite a bit above the average first serve speed, a good indicator that she's a powerful player. To take this even further, when she goes all out, we can see that she has actually recorded one of the fastest serve speeds ever, only further showcasing her strength and power. Recovery time is another interesting statistic to consider here. This shows how quickly a player can regain position to make the next shot, with a faster recovery time showing explosive, quick movements reflecting athletic dominance. There is no set data recorded here, so there is an element of unreliability around this. However, based on observational video analysis and advanced tracking, some rough estimates below can provide a deeper look into a player's toughness. Generally, players that focus on power can tend to lose effectiveness when it comes to speed, but what we can see here is that Osaka actually has one of the best recovery times, implying that she is also quick. So overall, the statistics paint quite a clear picture here. Osaka is strong, powerful, and fast. She's generally well above average in many of these elements, with endurance being her only downfall. Overall, for toughness, it's an 8.5. Now on to headspace. This is where things start to get really interesting. One of the best ways to check an athlete's headspace is to understand how they perform in high-pressure moments. And in tennis, what could be more intense than the 4 major open tournaments? In the high-pressure environment of the major open tournaments, Osaka has excelled. For example, in the US and Australian Open, her win rate is 80%. And as mentioned at the start of the video, when she makes it to a Grand Slam final, so far, she has had a win rate of 100%. Now these statistics are crazy good, but let's take a step back for a moment. Naomi is known for excelling on hard courts, so in her field of choice, she's clearly in the right headspace, but starts to fall down on clay and grass courts, with her win rate for the French Open and Wimbledon dropping to around 55%. But let's take a step back more. So if we exclude all her major open tournament games, Naomi Osaka's win rate drops to around 60%. And if we again narrow it down further, we see that she has made it into 4 WTA finals outside of the major tournaments, with a resulting win rate of 38% in these finals, which is a stark contrast to her success in the major 4 open tournaments. So this is why I said it's interesting, because in the highest pressure scenarios, Osaka actually excels, but then in what you would consider lower pressure scenarios, she's falling apart. It's almost like she has the opposite problem to what most athletes have. Anyways, enough on win rates. I just quickly wanted to touch on her overall tiebreak win percentage. Tiebreaks in tennis tend to occur because both players are playing exceptionally well, and so the set has come down to this win or lose moment, which is often ultimately decided by mental toughness. Generally, an elite player's tiebreak win percentage is considered to be around 55%. Naomi Osaka has a tiebreak win rate of approximately 60%, which again reinforces the notion that she is quite effective when under high pressure. So let's get a score for Headspace. This one was challenging. Overall, it's clear that Osaka is actually really good under intense pressure, but then struggles in other areas. But you aren't going to get to the high pressure scenarios unless you can get through the low pressure ones first. So it's a complex one to really understand. In the end, it's a 6.5 here. Naomi Osaka has been playing on the WTA Tour since 2013, with some time off in between here and there. To get an idea of how she's performed over the years, we have compiled her approximate average ranking on a year-by-year basis. So we can see that she has had quite a rapid rise all the way to the top for a brief period, where she has actually held the number 1 position for around 25 weeks overall, and then we start to see a gradual decline. Osaka's career over time reveals a range of things. It shows periods of build-up, periods of dominance, periods of challenges, and what's looking to be a period of comebacks. When compared to numerous other tennis players and athletes in general though, we wouldn't say her career has been particularly reflective of maintaining a continuous performance over the years, and is rather somewhat erratic over time. Overall, it's a 5.5 for longevity. Now on to triumphs. Osaka's achievements solidify her status among tennis elites. To date, she has achieved 8 WTA titles, of which 4 of them are major open titles, with the other titles including prestigious tournaments like the Indian Wells and the Pan-Pacific Open. She's had approximately 25 weeks at world number 1, and she was the first Japanese player to win a Grand Slam singles title and reach world number 1. Now, as usual, this is not all her achievements, but it definitely sums up the impressive career Naomi has had to date. I did just want to touch on one further element here though. Tennis is more than just the 4 major opens. Throughout the whole year, there are so many tournaments running continuously. Looking at her titles, she has won only 4 other titles outside of her major 4 open wins. This is actually not very many. Have a look here at some of the other tennis players. Despite showing a general lack of success when it comes to winning other WTA titles, at the end of the day, Osaka still has 4 Grand Slams, which will forever make her a champion. Overall, for triumphs, it's a 6.5. Naomi Osaka's legacy in tennis is extremely fascinating, showcasing her remarkable physical and technical tennis capabilities, leading to a rapid rise in all her achievements. With all scored considered, this gives Naomi a total athlete score of 6.8, putting her here on the Athletica scoreboard. So was Naomi Osaka ever as good as we thought she was? Well, yes she was. She's a champion, and at her peak was performing at a level where all her capabilities statistically aligned her with or even surpassed the best we have ever seen. Although she may have dropped the ball since then, the most exciting part of all this is that she currently seems to be staging a comeback, so hopefully we get another chance to review her again in the coming years. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell notification so we can keep scoring athletes. Also, if you're a tennis fan as well, you might enjoy our video on Serena Williams, which should pop up on the screen now. Thanks for watching, team. Catch you at the next one.